Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The top leadership of the Congress party has summoned Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar to the national capital on Friday, with the former under scrutiny over the Governor of Karnataka, Thawarchand Gehlot, granting sanction for prosecution in corruption. In fact, on August 19th, hearing a challenge to the order by the Chief Minister, the Karnataka High Court had paused precipitative action based on the Governor's sanction until 29th of August, which is when the next hearing will take place. Now, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will also inform the CLP, which is the Congress Legislative Party, on the latest developments related to the Mysuru Urban Development Authority case that has, in fact, cast a cloud over him. Now, is Siddaramaiah confronting a serious challenge to his integrity, or has the case brought about solidarity and peace within the warring factions of the state Congress unit? So, will an embattled Siddaramaiah, who is probably facing charges of personal corruption for the first time in his life, survive the storm? And what are the larger politico-legal questions that this controversy raises? We'll try and make sense of all of that today. Joining me, of course, is a panel of esteemed guests. But first, some reactions.
It is a fight against the corruption. It is a fight against it. It is a fight for justice. Impressing upon this Congress party, urging upon this Congress party to take action against this Congress Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, immediately ensure he has been dismissed.
Last time when Yadurappa ji was given the governor's sanction for prosecution, BJP stages anti-governor protest in Karnataka. They called for a Karnataka Bandh when they were in power.
So the BJP, as usual, also held a protest asking for the resignation of Siddaramaiah. Moving on to the main point of discussion today. Joining me now is the Minister for Health, Dinesh Gundu Rao. We also have Karnataka senior journalist, former deputy editor of the Deccan Herald, B.S. Arun. We also have Shivanna, who's the spokesperson of the Congress party, and G.S. Prashant, who's the spokesperson of the BJP. To you, Mr. Gundu Rao, first, thank you all of you for joining me on this show. Mr. Rao, when you talk about the overreach of the governor, because there are larger politico-legal questions that the conflict between governor and state governments has also raised, something that we've witnessed in Karnataka also. Sir, similar situation also arose in 2011 with Yadurappa. Then, would it be fair to say that this is something that we have seen in several governments, because that case was also dismissed by the High Court?
Yadurappa's case is completely different, and it had his actions taken as a chief minister, and it was misuse of his office, and it was a detailed document, and the governor took time to go through it, and then I can go on and on talking about it. Here, the governor has behaved in such a partisan manner. A private complaint is given to the governor, and the day it's given, he issues a show cause notice. There are so many other cases which are pending with the governor for sanction for prosecution, where it's not a private complaint that is pending with the governor. These are investigated cases where in two cases charge sheets have been filed, and the Lokaयुcta police has asked the governor for permission to prosecute Mr. Kumaraswamy, Mr. Nirani, Shashikant Jolle, and Janardhan Reddy. These are police investigations with two charge sheets and permission to sanction. Here, on a private complaint, with no hint of anywhere of the chief minister misusing his office as a chief minister or as a minister, no incident, no such example is or proof is given.
But Mr. Rao, private
immediately issues a show cause notice.
Have been accommodated in the past, but of course we have amendments to the Prevention of Corruption Act. Would you think that is also problematic? The fact that the prosecution sanction was made at the complaint of a private person, because private complainants.
Yeah, exactly, because section 17A requires a police officer to investigate and request for sanction, not a private person. So that itself is a fundamental flaw here.
Okay.
And
But
the
Mr. Rao,
second thing
the main point is MUDA was warned, against implementing the scheme in 2021, 2023. Do you think that the Congress party, it did finally, it could have acted on this earlier, right? Because finally in October 2023, you did realize
I'm sorry. I don't know. Where is the wrongdoing by Mr. Siddaramaiah? When the MUDA took this decision, it was the BJP government. The chairman of MUDA was BJP. The urban development minister was BJP. The chief minister or his wife has not asked for any particular piece of land. The MUDA board consisted of JDS, BJP members. So, where is the action taken by the chief minister misusing his office?
Okay.
First of all, so I can go into the details of the case. I don't want to get into that.
Absolutely.
But what I'm going to say is here, the governor is behaving in a very partisan manner. And this is like he is a constitutional head of the state. And he should not be behaving he should not confront and try to destabilize an elected government and try to besmirch the name of the chief minister with whom he should share a good rapport. If he wanted any details, he should have asked for it. And this is, huge amount of violation has been done by him. He is trying to derail the government in the state. And this is a typical how BJP, the Modi government, is misusing the Raj Bhavan and the governor's office in
But Mr. Rao,
every
if you
state
look at the
where
governor
the opposition party is ruling. In
acknowledge the
every state.
resolution that the cabinet did sort of, come up with, despite the absence of Siddaramaiah. So that's one thing that the governor did. He did say that, he has gone through what the cabinet did. But tell me, how united is the party? Is it rallying around Siddaramaiah, or, at some point, do you see this impacting the party? Do you see this impacting the party's prospects? Because elections are also, coming up in a few years from now.
I think, actually speaking, the BJP is in disarray, JDS is in disarray. There are voices within those two parties where they have been speaking against their own leaders in the state. Many of them are not convinced by what the BJP and JDS are doing. And on the other hand, the Congress party is solid. In fact, this incident has unified the party even more. This whole thing that the BJP is doing is a big joke. This is going to have egg on their face. And the real culprits, that is the central minister, Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, who is now, governor has to decide on whether to give him sanction or not. He has to take a decision now. He cannot keep the file pending anymore. So there is solid evidence that he has done wrongdoing and he has to sanction for prosecution. And Mr. Kumaraswamy will have to resign because he's holding the mines portfolio in which he has done this, this corruption. So BJP leaders are going to face the music. And the governor actually has tied his own hands by sanctioning prosecution against the chief minister for no wrongdoing. He better now give sanction for prosecution against the central minister, Mr. Kumaraswamy, and other BJP leaders, where they have been investigated and charge sheets have been filed. So there is no getting away from it. And today in our cabinet, we have requested the governor again to immediately take action on those 4 cases which are pending with him. And the cabinet is solidly with Siddaramaiah. We had a CLP meeting just now. The entire 136 MLAs are with Siddaramaiah. We are one. And I want to thank BJP, thank the governor for making us, more united. And this is going to be, we're going to show the nation that how BJP is today misusing the constitution and misusing constitutional authorities.
Thank you, Mr. Rao. And, things change so fast in Karnataka. I wish you all the best for that. Let me take some of these questions to the Congress party representative here. Mr. Shivanna, you heard Mr. Prashant, GS Prashant, you heard what the minister had to say, that the entire cabinet is sort of rallying after Siddaramaiah. BJP has tried this in the past as well, but in some ways, corruption charges don't really seem to stick to Siddaramaiah. Do you think that this, move could also be one of that? How confident are you?
Vasudha, firstly, on the facts of the case, we are pretty confident that Siddaramaiah has to go, because it has started with Nagendra resigning after getting involved in a 187 crore Valmiki Corporation scam. There are many more ministers waiting in line now who will have to resign based on corruption, because the so-called cabinet consists of all ministers who have indulged in corruption, and in the days to come, we are going to expose them all. And coming to this particular issue of Mr. Siddaramaiah, he wanted to project himself as above the ground and say that he has done no wrong. But on the facts of the case, misusing his position, and in fact, he had challenged a week ago saying, show me one letter which I had written. In 1998, he had written a letter to allot him a particular land. And in today's newspapers, the report what MUDA has given apparently has some whitener on the letter issued to Siddaramaiah's wife, which means they're trying to tamper with evidence because they know that Siddaramaiah is standing on a very weak wicket and he will be indicted in this particular thing. So the question of Congress being united See, we are not bothered as to what they do because we know the infighting in Congress as to who's fighting for which seat.
Let's talk about the
And
case.
be that
Mr.
as it
Shivanand
may,
is
the
making a very important
let me
point
complete.
here, sir.
The hypocrisy of Congress is very
Yes.
well exposed here.
Yes,
The
Mr.
hypocrisy of Congress is very well exposed here because
Mr. Shivana, when
whenever
he
they were in
says
power for
this,
60 long
when Prashant
years,
says
they
this,
have
the
used
Congress
this
minister is
offices
also...
to defame and put others
Yes,
in
sir.
the dock.
Yes, Mr. Shivana, the Congress, Congress government is reported to have allowed this 50-50 scheme in MUDA despite several objections. I mean, I know that BJP was also, in power in the state, and the beneficiaries seem to be, across political spectrum, different parties, different mutts. But the Congress government has been in power in the state for some time now. Do you think that you could have at least stalled this scheme when some of these illegal aspects of it came to light?
The minute we came to government, within 4 months we have taken action. We have acknowledged that there are certain irregularities in the MUDA. As you rightly pointed out, it has spanned over 3 to 4 decades. The first incident of irregularity in MUDA sprung up in the year 1985. And to investigate the matter, we have appointed an IAS officer, Venkatachalapati, who is looking into all the aspects. Under the Inquiry Commissions Act, we have instituted an inquiry under retired Judge of the Honorable High Court, Mr. P.N. Desai, who are looking into all these aspects. But it is abundantly clear that today, that the BJP and all the other political opposition are, hatching a political conspiracy to destabilize a democratically elected government. Mr. Siddaramaiah and his integrity and his honesty in public life and in administration is unparalleled. And to use it is unfortunate to see that 1 second, sir, I didn't interrupt you when I was speaking. When you were speaking,
unparalleled in terms of one second, controversy also.
If you are the fathers of corruption, you are ousted on the basis of corruption. Let me finish. I will not interrupt you. Now, the
Congress and corruption go hand in hand.
Constitutional office.
Using a constitutional the synonym for Congress is corruption.
Let Shivana complete. I'll come to you.
1 second, sir. 1 second. The people of Karnataka are seeing, and it is abundantly clear to them that there is a gross misuse of a constitutional office, that is the office of the governor. And it is abundantly clear that he's acted in haste, he's acted in a tearing hurry in issuing the show.
But Mr. Shivana, in 2011, the Congress government did the same thing with the BJP Chief Minister then Yadurappa, right? So, the offices of the governor have always been in some ways politically misused. Let me get B.S. Arun here. Mr. Arun, with the Congress party backing Siddaramaiah in recent weeks, and, the Chief Minister himself has said that he's not going to budge, he's not going to bow, he is going to fight this out legally. But this journey is not going to be easy if the party or the people don't back him. Tell us how important, how extensive is the MUDA controversy in Karnataka? Is it something that people understand and feel is a big wrong that has happened? How do they feel about it?
Vasudha, I think the Chief Minister has given in his defense several of the factors, and that includes an important fact which says that he had not in writing made any had not brought pressure on any of the officials. There is nothing in writing to show that he or his wife should be favored. So that is to some extent, I think, hold the Chief Minister in good stead. But the BJP and its councils in the High Court will have to now convince the court about the illegalities that have been committed in this case. I think what the court will say, I think, will be the sort of a future catalyst for the developments, political developments in Karnataka. Everybody, all eyes are on the High Court. 29th, the case will resume.
Right.
And if it goes against the Chief Minister, and there is a possibility of the Chief Minister maybe even resigning, I think what the BJP is looking for is not really a fight against corruption, but they want Siddaramaiah, the powerful Congress leader, to be removed.
Right.
Siddaramaiah has the backing of the OBCs and the Ahinda group. Whereas the BJP has not been able to dislodge the Congress in the elections. So at least by this, they want to dislodge the government and weaken it, and perhaps even dethrone the Congress government. Perhaps that is the game plan here, and it remains to be seen to what extent they will succeed, because everything depends on what the court we'll say on 29th or thereafter.
Okay, closing remarks. GS Prashant, Mr. Arun pointed out to something very important, somebody who brought in the Ahinda, Siddaramaiah is not a Lingayat, not a Vokaliga, not from a dominant caste, somebody who represents OBC politics, a strong leader. Considering your party has also faced setback on this front, do you think that this could be also, seen as the party trying to corner a popular OBC leader or somebody who at least represents the community?
It's not about cornering a popular leader. It's about catching a leader who's indulged in corruption. It doesn't matter to which caste or community he belongs to. Ultimately, he has to resign when he is indulged in corruption. The same Siddaramaiah who took moral high grounds 10 years ago, please replay that clips what he had spoken then saying, if somebody had tried to prosecute me and issued sanctions against me, I would have resigned. He was referring to when the sanction was given against B.S. Yediyurappa way back in 2011. Siddaramaiah said, if somebody issues sanctions against me or wants to prosecute me, I'll be the first to resign if he was in BSY shoes then. The same thing, the tide has turned. Now Siddaramaiah says, I will not resign. My MLAs are backing me. Okay. It doesn't matter whether the corrupt Congress MLAs back Siddaramaiah or not. Court, in its wisdom, would take all documents into cognizance, will take the circumstantial evidence, and we have the greatest respect for the court and the constitution, which Congress doesn't believe in.
Probably one of the first times that Siddaramaiah is facing a serious integrity crisis, sir. Mr. Shivana, last word from you.
I hope I'm not interrupted this time.
Yes, please finish.
I hope I'm not
I'm out of time.
this
time.
No.
I'm out of time. Please,
You're done.
No, what's the give me 10 seconds to
No,
complete?
sir, I'm completely out of time. 30 seconds for Mr.
Chief
Shivana.
Minister of Karnataka.
No, wait. Let me complete and you have your time, Shivana.
Unwavering and total
Shivana,
support
let me complete my point.
All the MLAs, he has the popular mandate of the people. He has not committed any wrong. Right from 1992 till 2022, you take it's a matter, a land transaction that has transpired for over 3 decades. You made be land acquisition, denotification, conversion, agreement of sale agreement, gift deed, and then compensatory relief. There's not a single shred of evidence. There's not a single piece of paper that points towards the involvement of Siddaramaiah. And you cannot compare.
Thank you so much, B.S. Arun, Mr. Prashant, and Mr. Shivana for joining me on the show.